Good morning. This is Business. You're watching Metropole Television. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. This is our first part of the show today. So let's talk about what happens at the workplace. And remember, when you want to really achieve productivity, a lot of decisions and things that cannot actually pretty much be in line with what you're doing get to pass. As a leader, therefore, your work is pretty much to empower the people below you just so that you can achieve that productivity. And we're talking about it right now, especially when people at workplaces, especially the employees, are facing difficulties more often as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, which therefore makes responsibility and empowerment at the workplace a very, very pertinent conversation this morning. Around that area, questions are, why should I empower my employees or the people that I'm leading? How should I empower them? Is it even necessary since they know exactly what it is they're supposed to be doing? Because that is the first case as why they're employed. Good. To help us understand why that is important, I am joined by Dr. Mary Mugo. She is an author. Let's just leave it there for today. Fantastic. Dr. Mugo, how are you doing?
I'm well, Simba. How are you today?
I am fantastic.
Yeah.
That's what we can say. Let's get to the gist of this conversation this morning. Why is responsibility and empowerment at the workplace important? Let's begin from that.
Now, responsibility. Maybe we should start by getting the viewers to understand what exactly we mean by responsibility. And maybe what we mean by empowerment so that they're able to get it.
Yes.
Now, when you talk about responsibility, you're talking about the obligation to fulfill your duties. You're talking about, being able to fulfill the promises that you have made, both the employee and the employer. You're talking about, being accountable for what you do. Empowerment, on the other hand, means that the employer or the manager is giving you the autonomy, the freedom to do your job the way you should be doing it. They are giving you, they are delegating some decision making to you. So when you talk about empowerment, you're saying that the employee is left to make decisions on how to do the work.
Yes.
And responsibility and empowerment can be explained very well from the good book, actually.
Yes.
In Matthew 25, which talks about the parable of the talents. Now, if for those who read this book, they know that one was given 5, another was given 2, another was given 1. Now, you realize that when the master gave them those talents, the master did not tell them what to do. Yeah? So, responsibility is when you know what to do and how to do.
Yes.
Now, when the master left, he came back and he asked them, the 5, what did you do? Yet he had not told them what to do. So he said, I have 5 more. Another said, I have 2 more. And all the 2, he said, well done, servants. But the one who had nothing was, it was taken away. That is empowerment. Okay?
Yes.
Now, accountability is after you have empowered me, then I have to be accountable. Why is that important? As you rightly said, we are working from home. Now, who supervises you when you are working from home? Who supervises you here if the manager is working from home? Yeah? So you must be responsible. You must be able to fulfill what you're supposed to do. And organizations that empower their people, number one, employees are loyal.
Yes.
Employees are committed. Productivity is increased. There's efficiency in what you do. When you're doing your work, you get meaning, you get purpose of your life. Yeah? So when you are empowered as an employee, the organization also benefits in that. There's no micromanagement. People don't have to keep on calling to find out there's Simba around.
Yes.
Because you know what you're doing, you know how to do it. And organizations, why empowerment is important is also there is, at the end of the day, the bottom line is better because customers are happy, employees are happy, employees are healthy. Because most of the times people are actually stressed at work because they are not empowered, because they are micromanaged.
Yes.
Before you do anything, the boss is, is looking, hey, what is happening. So empowerment is very important, more so this time and any other time, because people are working from home. They must supervise themselves. They must know what to do, how to do, and very importantly, empowerment allows employees to go to do what we call organizational citizenship behavior.
Yes.
They go beyond the call of duty.
Yes.
You see, if you work for an organization that empowers people, they will always go beyond the call of duty. They will not just be there to do only what they are supposed to do, but they'll go beyond the call of duty.
All right.
Those are the kind of benefits you get as an organization when you empower your employees.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a good base, therefore, for us to begin from. Somebody's listening and saying, good points. But then what are the tools that are given to me or that are available for me as a manager to empower the people who work for me? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, as a leader, as a manager, you can empower your employees through various ways.
Yes.
Number one, you must give them support. Mm-hmm. You see, employees must feel that management is supporting what they are doing. If today you say you want to interview a certain person, they give you that support. You feel empowered. Number two, they must delegate.
Yes.
That is an area where most people fail, especially leaders and managers. Delegation is one of the major tools that is used to empower employees. Delegation basically means that you let employees make what I would call frontline decisions.
I see.
You know, you are a top manager and you're making decisions on the sugar to be bought, these kind of funny things. I mean, let people make.
You gotta let that for the employees, isn't it?
Yes. Just let the employees make those decisions.
How do you hit that balance though, knowing which decision to let them make and which decision for them not to make?
Actually, a good manager and a good leader lets the employees make decisions on how they do their work.
Fantastic.
You see, even in our own homes,
yes.
there are homes where supper will not be cooked until the lady of the house has called.
Yeah.
Now, that is lack of delegation.
Yes.
That is lack of empowerment.
Yes.
So delegation is very, very important. When you make decisions, you feel empowered because you're basically saying, I am in charge of what I am doing. The other major tool is coaching and mentoring.
I see.
If you see, sometimes it is not always that when you delegate, people make the right decisions. Sometimes they make mistakes. But when they make those mistakes, if you want to empower the employee, you have to keep on mentoring them and coaching them. Yeah. The other key one is constructive feedback. Constructive feedback. You see, everyone makes a mistake. What kind of feedback do you give your employees empowers them? There's some managers, the only thing that employees know is when they see their manager coming in, they know something is wrong. No, constructive feedback means even when I am right, which is the next tool,
yes.
Reward and recognition.
Yes.
Do you recognize when people do a good job? If you bring someone for an interview who maybe the institution has been looking for a long time, do they recognize your efforts? You feel empowered.
Yes.
So recognition and reward. And the other key tool is training. A good organization that empowers employees, there is continuous training on areas of improvement. That is why constructive feedback is very important, because when you give feedback, you are able to know which are the areas that Simba needs to improve on, and then you train them. So continuous training is very, very important when you want to empower your employees.
Yes.
And then very, very, very important is actually trust. If you want to empower your employees as a manager, you must trust them. Trust basically means you trust that they will do the right thing. You see, the reason why managers micromanage others is because they don't trust them. That is the mere truth. They don't think you will do the right thing. So they have to keep on telling you, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this. I keep saying that if you tell someone how to do something, you stifle creativity. Because if I tell the lady in my house that I want my cabbage cut this way, maybe she can cut it in a better way if I just told her cut the cabbage.
Yes.
So you must be able to trust that the employees will do the right thing. Mm-hmm. Those are a few tools that you can use to empower your employees, but the most important is actually allowing them to make decisions on what they do.
Pretty much. All right, I just want to take you back to one that you've just mentioned is coaching and mentoring. Does that mean that this manager or this leader who's leading this group of employees pretty much has to be in the thick of things, have the facts at hand? So that now from time to time, you're pretty much telling your employees, you say you did this, but then it would have been better if you would have taken this perspective. Is that what you mean? Or you're saying that this manager has from time to time bring people on board who are in the same line as what he's trying to tell the employees so that they can also get better advice or better techniques from these other people? Or it's within this company, the mentoring and coaching has to come from this manager himself or herself?
You know, it is just from the parable that I gave.
Yes.
If you read the good book, it says that each was given according to their ability.
Yes.
So it is assumed that if I am your manager, I am better in terms of skills, in terms of what I do than you are.
I see.
It is assumed because you shouldn't be leading people and you don't know what they are doing.
I see.
So the mentoring in this aspect of empowerment, other than the outside one, is inside. You must be able to attach, for instance, maybe there are interns who would want to do what you do.
Yes.
So it is the manager, it is expected that the manager gets an intern and attaches them to you. That is the kind of mentoring. So that the person is able to know when you want to interview people, this is what you do.
Yes.
On the other hand, there must be someone who is above you. When they realize that there's a way you do things and it's not right, they must be, because of feedback. You see, remember, this constructive feedback. You know, empowerment and responsibility does not mean you are not there. In fact, I normally say that delegation does not mean hands off. No. You're saying that I'm trusting you and I'm leading you through so that you can be a better person.
Yes.
So the mentoring, the coaching should not just be out there, but should be inside the organization. Who are the people that are doing things better here? Which shows, maybe there could be some shows that are more popular. Those kind of people who do those shows should be the mentors of the other shows, and that is why teamwork is also very important in empowerment.
Yes.
People must be team players. So it is upon the leader to know who is the best person to mentor this person so that this person can feel empowered, so this person can do things better than before.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's talk about, therefore, how you as a manager would know whether whatever it is that you're doing is actually working or it is not.
Yeah, that's very important, because again we say that whatever you do must be measurable.
Yes.
Because as an organization you must be able to know, as a manager, what I'm doing is working. There are various ways that can tell you whether empowerment is working in your institution or whether responsibility is working. And one of them is increased productivity. When you realize that people, there are better results, then you know empowerment is working.
Yes.
When there is less turnover, or what we would call decrease in turnover. You know, there are some organizations where people leave right center. You know, by the way, those are organizations you should never go to, especially those kind of guys who even fire you on SMS. It's not right. Maybe we should talk about that another day.
We need to, by the way. We need to.
You see,
Yes.
when people keep on leaving an organization, then you know there's something wrong. So
Yes.
if people are staying, if there's a decreased absenteeism, people are happy when they're coming to work. There's people come early without nobody is checking it. So increased productivity, less turnover, less absenteeism, faster decision making. When you realize that decisions are being made very fast,
Yes.
then empowerment is working. The other way you can know that empowerment is working, for example, is if there's increased efficiency in the way people do things. People are doing things faster. And very importantly, you know empowerment is working when your structure is becoming flatter. You know, flatter basically means there are very few layers.
I see.
That you can actually walk to the CEO's office without going through anyone.
Yes.
Then you know empowerment is working.
Yes.
So the structure becomes flat every other time. Then you know that my empowerment is working. When there is there's decrease in, very interestingly, medical claims, then empowerment is working. People are sick because they are not empowered. People are sick because they feel that they don't like what they are doing.
Yes.
When you know that empowerment is working when people are happy to do work that is they are not supposed to do. They feel that they can actually, maybe they can chip in for someone who is not there. But when the empowerment is not working, of course, it's the opposite. People are leaving, people come late, people are always complaining, people are not happy. They will only do what I call the bare minimum. And you will know,
out, isn't it?
and you will know that empowerment simply is not working.
Yes.
When there's a syndrome of let me ask my boss first.
I see.
You know, every time you want to do something, the first thing you tell someone, I need to consult my boss.
I see now.
Empowerment is not working.
Yes.
So there are various ways you can measure. The customers are happy. You know, when I came here this morning, the lady I found first, she greeted us. She even asked us, who are you waiting for? Now, that tells you something. No,
Yes.
seriously.
Yes.
You see, we are able to tell these things from the gate. The way people greet you, the way people are, you know, all that tells you whether empowerment is working.
Yes.
Of course, conflicts increase where empowerment is not working.
That was my next question, isn't it? So it's a good thing that you mentioned it. You gotta admit that in a working environment, there have to be conflicts, what we like to call office drama. How do you go through that as a manager, just to make sure that these conflicts are pretty much lessened and people can move away from these conflicts, which in a working environment you can not do away with them, so they can come back to work the next day and continue working as if nothing did happen the day before?
You know, I prefer calling them office politics rather than office drama.
Office drama.
And I want to tell everyone listening to this, every employee
Yes.
should know that actually office politics are normal. The so-called drama
It's
Simba,
normal.
is
It's a normal thing.
You will find it any day. So what you need to do
Yes.
is to know how to play functional politics.
I see.
You see,
Let's
the
do-
drama
yes.
can be functional or dysfunctional. Let's call it drama. I think
Yes.
I like the word drama.
Yes.
But this book of mine calls it workplace politics.
Yes.
You see, when you play functional politics or when your drama is good, it enhances the performance of the organization.
I see.
When you play drama that is dysfunctional, what we call dysfunctional politics, then you're backbiting people, you are backstabbing them, you are basically doing things that inhibit performance. You are bypassing your boss, you're going, you know, you are gossiping your co-worker, but you must understand that is normal. So there are things that you must do. We can do another day workplace politics, but there are things that you can do to ensure that the drama works, you know, for you.
Yes.
I normally say that if you want to play drama, then I'll be the drama queen. You see, if you're the drama queen, then
Yes.
it's fine.
Yes.
So there are things that you have to do. One of them is that if you are a team player, you will go beyond the drama. So an employee who is a team player will go beyond the drama.
Yes.
An employee who understands, who goes, for instance, you can go and ask your supervisor, what is it that I need to do? You know, I normally say in leadership, you need to lessen the work of your supervisor.
Yes.
You can imagine if someone comes to you every time to ask you, is there something I can do for you today? I mean, even if the drama comes to his office, he's like, no, Simba cannot do that. But if you are the one who is always the other way around, so you must be able to understand
Yes.
the institution and the organization and ensure that you actually become the drama queen if the drama must continue. So you are the center, but positively.
But positively.
Yes.
It's a good thing that we're talking about this conversation this morning. Just want to digress a little bit, talk about your book. Tell me exactly what was behind the thinking that you actually need to address empowerment and productivity at the workplace for managers before we continue with that conversation in your book.
Yeah, this book is, first of all, any book I write is inspired. So the reason I wrote this book, which is a month old, by the way, is because I observed, I'm a manager myself, so I observed the way people are working. Some people came to me and they actually confided in me the way they are suffering because of politics. Others because of gossip. Others felt they were manipulated, because those are the topics in this book.
Yes.
Others felt that the bosses were harassing them. You see, as a manager, you must be free to a point that people can tell you those things that sometimes you don't want to hear. So this book basically addresses the aspect that for an organization to be productive, for an organization to be competitive, workplace politics must be dealt with. Gossip in the workplace must be dealt with. Manipulation must be dealt with. Impression management must be dealt with. Those are the topics here.
Yes.
And responsibility and empowerment, among others. But above all things, the book also allows you as an employee to understand how to get out of this quagmire.
Yes.
Because as I said, politics are normal. So this book addresses that, and the inspiration was to help employees actually understand. You know, I've had people saying, I don't want to play politics. You never go anywhere. Politics, even in the house, even in my own house, there are politics. There are people who are sent when when they want to go and swim, there's a specific person that is sent, and to the specific other person. They know this one, mom will agree, this one she will. So politics are everywhere.
It's important, isn't it?
So
yes.
This book addresses those issues. How do you ensure at the end of the day you thrive and influence your workplace? Because at the end of the day, it's not about surviving. In fact, I've been telling people that in this COVID era, those who thrive are the ones who will remain when others are getting fired.
Yes.
Because you must be able, even getting fired or not fired is part of politics. Because for you to be fired, maybe you play dysfunctional politics or you are just a good person. And I keep saying, Simba, hard work is good, talent is good, but the two alone cannot take you to the top. You must play some functional politics.
I see. Fantastic. So now, we're talking about empowering employees, but remember, even as a manager, you are considered an employee of that company by whoever did employ you in that regard. So how do you yourself as well empower yourself as you try to empower the guys below you? Yes.
Now, the best way a manager can empower themselves, in my view, is one, you must employ people who are smarter than you.
I see.
You know, let me tell you. Yeah.
Fantastic viewpoint. I would like to hear.
You see, I am of the opinion that if you're a manager and you want to be empowered, because basically empowerment is, you want also the freedom to do things, you want the autonomy to do things. You at your level, get guys who are smart. You see, if you get people who are smarter than you, work gets done well and faster. And by the way, when a company does well, it is the CEO who gets the credit.
Most of the time, isn't it? It's all the people below.
It's all the time. All the time. When Metro is doing well, they say Metro is doing well.
Because of the manager.
The management is doing good. The board is doing well.
Yes.
So get people who are smarter than you. Number two, continuously learn and be ahead.
I see.
Yeah? You cannot empower others unless yourself you know exactly what should be done. In other words, you need to be also an expert in what you do.
Yes.
If for example, I'm a leader, then I should be able to know leadership issues. I don't need to know how to do recording and all that, but I need to be, because as a leader, I'm motivating you to do your job. I'm inspiring you to do your job. In fact, that's the other thing. If you want to empower yourself as a leader, especially at the top, you must be an inspiring person. You must be somebody who inspires others, who motivates others, and who continuously seeks for knowledge. You know, Kenyans are here. Kenyans don't like reading, although I think I'm realizing it is not true because my books get bought.
Yes.
So you must continuously learn and know what is changing. You see, things are changing. Now, you must adapt or die. These days, everything is online, depending on what you do. So, as a leader, as a manager, you must ensure at all times you are on top of things. You must be ahead of the people that you lead.
Yes.
As much as you can't know everything, but you must be seen to be above. And above all things, the best other way to empower yourself is to respect and trust the people that work for you.
Pretty much.
And that's why I say I get shocked when the people who work for you, you can just send a text and tell them, Simba, you're fired. You are basically a very disempowered leader, if there's any word like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can empower yourself through using all those kind of things.
Pretty much. So I just want you to hold the book up for our viewers to actually see it right now. It's called How to Thrive or Influence Your Workplace. This is exactly where the conversation has been coming from this morning. So how can they get it?
Now you can get this book in two major ways.
Yes.
One, you can call 0776 045 087, or you can write an email to info@merimugo.com if you're in Kenya. And the book will be delivered to you. We've been delivering through Nation Courier to where you are. So don't forget about this COVID nonsense. We must leave. You see, that's another thing. If you are empowered, you don't fear nothing.
Yes.
So if you're in Kenya, we'll bring it to where you are. If you are out of Kenya, this book is available in Amazon.
Fantastic.
And it's only going for 1,500, including delivery.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's just repeat the number for anybody who didn't catch it.
0776 045 087.
All right, and the email?
info@merimugo.com.
Fantastic. I mean, there's no better way to begin your Monday. Now you do know, as a manager and as an employee, exactly what is expected of you, so that you feel empowered, so that you feel that sense of responsibility, and also have that influence that you do need at your workplace. That is Dr. Mary Mugo. Remember, I promise you again, we shall be calling her shortly back again, so we can talk about that interesting area, office politics. Fantastic, I promise you that I shall pick it upon myself. All right, we take a short break, but once we come back, just like I had mentioned, let's look at the economic review.